Hello everyone, I'm Sanjay and I recently passed my CKAD exam. So in this video, I'll be talking about how to prepare for the CKAD exam, how to find the mock test, and what are the common mistake and tips, and also how to use the shortcut and what are the shortcuts that we can use to efficiently run the commands. So first part, how to prepare for the exam. There are different resources that you can find online, but to be precise, I followed the only one course that in the Udemy by Mumsad. So this course comes with all the detail about the necessary concepts and practice test on each chapter, and also we no need to do anything for the setup and running cluster locally because that course is come up with a code cloud online lab. So those are like a similar interface that you're going to get in the exam. So I like that part of this course because only going through the lecture is not enough, right? Since this is the hands-on lab. Going through those practice tests really helped me to prepare for the exam. And the second resource I use is Kubernetes help command and also the official document. You can get the shortcut and also you can know about those deployment commands using kubectl dash help, or let's example you want to know about how to run run a pod or how to auto scale. So you can do simply like kubectl deploy dash help, right? So it will be really useful in the exam to know how to use those help command because you will not have enough time in the exam to go through the document and find the exact command you want, right? So being familiar with Kubernetes help command really helped me. While going through the course, I was creating the document CKAD clean sheet where I kept all the main commands on each topic, which really helped me to go through those topics every day before going to the exam. So I have created the GitHub link and also I have added that in the description. You can use this note if you like. So that also helped me. Giving the mock exam is really important for this course because you have to you have to run the commands there, right? It's not the multiple choice question answer type of exam. So for to find the mock test in the Udemy courses I talked earlier, they they have they have provided two mock tests. And also when you sign up for the exam, when you set up the exam there in the Linux Foundation, they will provide you access to the killer.sh environment. Those exam set, the questions they ask there in the killer essays are really difficult compared to the real exam. So if you can do those killer.sh questions, then it's guaranteed that you'll pass the real exam. Use those mock tests, right? So main thing you have to learn from those mock tests is obviously it's all the command that you have to know. Beside that, you have to learn how to manage the time because you will have 16 questions and 2 hours, right? So you will not have enough time to finish all the question if you do not use the proper time management and if you do not practice before going to the exam. So I strongly suggest you to do at least one practice test from killer.sh, and you can also review those questions later as well. Now let's move to the exam tips, right? So in the exam, you can only use only one screen. So while giving the mock test, I suggest you to try to use the same screen that you're going to use in the real exam and don't try to use the multiple screens. so that you'll have the real exam feelings and you'll be comfortable working in the exam as well, right? And also know about beam command, like to sort something in the beam. You can just do like a slash sort something, and so at least know some of the basics beam command, which will be really handy on the exam. And in the exam, you will have access to the Firefox browser. And I felt difficulties while switching between the terminal and browser. I wish they allow us to use two screen, but it's not there. So be familiar with only one screen and using Firefox browser, where sometimes you have to know how to sort inside the page, right? So for me, Control F was working. So be familiar with Firefox browser. And I also suggest you to just remember this URL, Kubernetes IO /docs/home, in case if you close the browser and if you don't remember the URL for the docs, it may it may help, right? So just try to remember that. In the terminal, you will get the Linux terminal there. So if you do those mock tests, it will be similar interface. So no need to be worried about, but just try those. Just keep in mind that you will find the Firefox browser. You will not have access to your computer or your Chrome or your bookmarks, nothing. So you'll have completely new system there. And other tips is always copy and paste namespace and resource name while in the exam, because most of the time namespace will be some random string and we might make mistake while typing it. So I strongly suggest you to always copy paste the namespace and resource name and double check the resources before going to the next question, because sometime there may be some typo, right? So if there is any typo, we will not get any mark on that question. So I strongly suggest you to also double check the name of the resources. And this is the most important part, it's context switching, right? For my exam, I also forgot to switch context on one or two questions. Before starting the question, they will ask you to run the command in that context. So sometimes we may forget, right? So always do the context switching before working on that exact question. You don't need to remember the command for this. They will give the command, you just need to copy and run it on the terminal. But keep in mind that in each every question you have to context switch, right? Otherwise they will not count that your answer. So that's required. And the another tip is set up before starting the exam. So personally, what I suggest is when you start the exam, right, go to the terminal and add some command on the bash RC. So for me, I added this function NAS, where I have added the keep control config set context command. So this basically helps us to change the namespace easily, right? So if you add this command, and you can try in your system as well. So if you add this command, and if you want to change the namespace, you can just simply type NES, just a namespace, right? Like NS namespace name, or maybe NS Pluto or NS Earth or something, right? So in the real exam, in each question, they will ask us to use the different namespace. So it's time every time if you want to give the namespace, then always you have to append -n that namespace. You have to make sure to include that namespace on each of the command. Like if you wanna do like a get pods, right? Every time you have to include that namespace. So I suggest you to add this bash RC edit your BSRC and add this command and save it. Don't forget to do source because it will not apply on that session, right? So, and it will be really easy. So I use this command on my exam and it really helped me. It saved maybe a couple of minutes for all the questions. So just use this. And if you want to really use that in the exam, also try to use it on home, like while doing the mock exam, so that you will be comfortable using those on the real exam. So the other shortcuts that you should remember is, instead of typing kubectl, just type k, and it's already there. You no need to configure anything. And the other important one is dry run client, right? Every time when you wanna print or you wanna create the resource, then you do the dry run. So instead of typing my dash o yaml dash dash dry run equal client, just go to the terminal, write this export dr equal that command, and instead of writing that, you can simply use $dr, right? So here is the example how to use it, right? So if you want to do the kubectl run command and create that file in like a question number.yaml file, then you can just simply do krun your pod name and then other variables, other parameters, right? And just $dr and save to some file, right? And also other shortcut is, if you want to see the command for krun, just type krun-h. So it will show you all the imperative commands available. So you can just copy from there, right? So why is this useful is, instead of going to the doc, right? You have to switch to the Firefox, find the document, search the command, and it will take time, right? So better just try to find that in the help command before going to the document, right? So try to use imperative command if available, like for the batch job, to create the batch job, and to run, and to create the deployment. Everything you can do from imperative command. So try to use that. So, and other tips that I want to give here is, save the resource file with naming convention, right? So let's say you have the question number 1 to create some pod, right, with some replica maybe. So you want to create maybe the deployment, right? So what I would do is, I'll create that file with with the name of the question number.yaml, so that if something happened and if that resource is not working for now, I can just mark, or I can just flag that question, leave the file there, so that I can come back to that question and review it, right? It will save time there. So next time it will be easy, just pick up that number and review it. So always try to save that using the question number, and it will save some time. And the final tip is practice. So since this is the hands-on exam, right, going through lecture, it will give you the enough information, but without practice, you may get confused, or you may not get the enough time to finish the exam. So keep practicing, do those mock tests multiple times, maybe 2 3 4 times. Go through those clean sheet, right? And always try to write the command. Do not refer to the doc always. Yeah, you will have the Kubernetes official doc for the reference, but you can't always go there and search, because it will take 1 or 2 extra minutes, and there you will not have enough time. If you pass killer.sh, then definitely you will pass the real exam. All right, thanks, and all the best for the exam. If you like this video, please subscribe and share. Thank you.